Hello and welcome to my storytelling space. A story is waiting. Join us, come in. And now, if you're ready, the tale will begin. The Bremen Town Musicians. There was once a donkey who had worked so hard for his master for so many years, carrying corn back and forth from the farm to the mill. But the donkey was getting older, and the farmer did not value him at all anymore, and he couldn't work as hard as he used to. And so the master just ignored him and let him fend for himself and find food wherever he could. The donkey decided that he would go and find his own fortune and to go to Bremen and become a town musician. So he set on his way. And as he walked along, he found a hound dog laying in the dust. And he said, "My good friend, what is wrong?" And the dog said, "Well, I used to be a good part of a family farm where I looked after the sheep and kept all enemies away from it. But I'm not as fast as I used to be. And, well, my master does not want me. And he has given me a kick and told me to leave." "Well," said the donkey, "I'm going to the town of Bremen to become a musician. Your voice would be great to join in. Come along." And so the dog joined the donkey. And the two went down the road and they saw a cat running for her life. And they called, "Stop, what is the problem?" And the cat said, "My mistress has been chasing me out with a broom, for I am older now and my teeth are not sharp and I'm not as fast as I used to be, and so I can't catch mice, and she doesn't want me." "Well," said the donkey, "come with us. We are going to the town of Bremen, and your voice would add to ours, and we will become town musicians." And so the cat thanked them very much, and she joined in. Well, they walked along the road, and there was a rooster sitting atop of a fence with his head hanging down. And the donkey said, "Why, Redcomb, what is the problem?" And the rooster said, "I woke my family up every single morning for years and years and years, but I am not as early a waker as I used to be. And, well, there's a great big company of relatives coming, and my mistress wants to throw me in the pot for stew." "Well," said the donkey, "come with us. We are going to the town of Bremen and become town musicians. Your voice would be a wonderful addition." And so the four walked down the road, but the evening came quickly and dark began to descend. And they thought, "We should rest until morning and then we will continue on our way." And so they looked for a likely spot to stay. And they found a wonderful tree, and the donkey and the dog curled up underneath, and the cat climbed to one branch, but the rooster flew way up to the top of a tree. And as he was looking around and settling down for his sleep, he spotted a spark of light in the distance. And he said, "There must be a house there." And so he called down to the other three and he said, "If we walk just a little further into the woods, I see a house. We might be able to find some food there and a place for shelter." And so the four got up and went. Now when they came to the house, they could hear some noise inside, and the donkey thought, "I will go and look in the window first to make sure that everything is all right." And so he walked up to the window and he put his two hoofs up on the top and he peered in. And what he saw was a wonder to his eyes. A table filled with the best things that he could think of to eat. And around the table were robbers feasting. And so he came down and he told the other three what was happening inside, and they came up with a plan. The donkey would stand up with his hoofs on the window ledge, and the dog would climb on top of the donkey, and on top of the donkey would be the cat, and at the very top would be the rooster, and they would begin to sing and create such a noise. And that's exactly what they did. Well, when the robbers heard that terrible noise and they saw the animals outside the window, they thought it was a terrible monster and a ghostly monster. And so they took off out that door and they disappeared into the woods. And then the four went in and they feasted on what was left and decided that they would go to sleep. Now the cat curled up by the remaining sparks and coals of the fire. And the rooster flew out and sat on top of the beam of the roof. And the donkey lay down outside the door in some straw. And the dog curled up behind the door inside. Now, when the robbers had run away, they gathered under a nearby tree and they thought, what was that? How were we frightened by just some noise? There's no ghost there. So they decided that one of them should go back and see. So that one crept very, very quietly to the door, opened the door, and went in. And he looked around. And he thought, there is a spark of fire. I will go and light my match so I can see what is inside this house. But it wasn't a spark of fire. The cat had heard the noise and had opened his glittering eye. And it was his eye that the robber thought was a spark of fire. So the robber walked up and he put that little bit of stick to light near the cat's eye. Well, the cat quickly leaped up and scratched the robber and spat at him. And the robber was so startled that he stumbled backwards, awakening the dog, and the dog quickly woke up and bit his leg. And the robber ran out, and as the robber ran out the door, the donkey saw him and gave him such a kick with his hind leg. And the rooster woke up and began to cry, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Well, that one robber was so frightened that he ran back to the others, and he didn't stop, and he called back to the others, quick, quick, run away, run away. There is a witch by the fire who scratched me and spat on me, and there is a man behind the door who stabbed me with a knife, and there's another out there with a great big baseball bat that is banging at people as they leave, and the voice on top of the roof is saying, bring the rogue to me for punishment. Well, when all the other robbers heard this, they all took off and were never seen again. And while those four musicians, they decided that they liked this house, and they stayed there and lived happily ever after. Now that is the story of the Bremen town musicians, and that is a story attributed to the brothers Grimm. Now the brothers Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm, were very famous scholars, and they loved poetry and folk tales and folklore at the time, and so they went around and they collected them. Now when they first published these stories, which are our fairy tales and folk tales, they were not just for children, but for children and adults too. So I hope you enjoyed the story, and until next time, bye-bye.